Steve-O, welcome back. Hey, how'd your TV appearance go last night?
I'll tell you what, man, since the last time I was on the show, I've been at Petco Park in San Diego and saw the Mariners win there. The Mariners have not lost since, so I decided to go up to D.C., which we had previously planned, and saw them in D.C. Doubleheader yesterday. And it was, okay, so we were sitting basically front row of the outfield seats in right field.
Wasn't very packed.
No, there's nobody there. I mean, that wasn't even the original game because they had to switch around. The doubleheader was just supposed to be an afternoon game that day. So it was empty. The Nationals are terrible. No fan support. And we all went through a scenario pre-game. We're in prime home run territory. If they hit a ball to us, are we going to try and catch it? Or are we going to get out of the way? And I think we all kind of agreed, all right, we're going to do everything we can to catch it. Mm-hmm. But we did agree if it's like a line drive home run, it's going to be a little tricky. If it's a fly ball, like wall scraper, that's a little easier. Well, Jesse Winker comes up right before they bat. I'm like, this dude's good candidate to hit it right here. Sure enough, on a line.
Yeah, drilled it.
And I just vividly remember Ronnie Woodward sitting to my left going, OS. And it happened in slow motion, and we all kind of stood up. And it came right to us. And it probably went over Ronnie by 6 feet maybe. But he was not, he did like a matrix, wanted no part of it either way.
I couldn't catch him on the TV camera, but he was up there too, probably, right?
Yeah, he was in the scrum going for the ball. Okay. I was kind of off to the side because it hit 2 rows above us and then ricocheted down. All the people right behind us got the heck out of the way. And so it ended up being Ronnie versus this dude from from a section over who just scrambled down. He ended up elbowing Ronnie in the stomach.
Oh, wow.
And getting the ball. Didn't even say I'm sorry or laugh about it. We were all laughing because it was crazy. And this dude, serious as could be, just got the ball and ran back to his seat and sat down. It was his life mission to get that ball. And he was wearing, no lie, no Nationals gear, just literally an MLB logo hat and an MLB logo shirt.
I wonder if he just goes to games to get balls.
And he had a glove.
There's a guy on YouTube that does that and is famous for it. Maybe that was the guy. But I rewatched that video 10 times trying to pick out who was who.
Right.
And as who was Jesse Winker?
Yeah, Jesse Winker.
As he was round the bases, they panned it back to you guys, and for a split second, you could see you and Wags.
Yep.
Jonathan Wagner.
We were just laughing.
And laughing so hard, and it was so funny. And poor Ronnie getting drilled in the stomach by that dude. And you could also see the dude running up happily up the stairs with the ball.
Oh, yeah. And he was such a jerk about it because literally everybody around us laughing. Oh, man, that was crazy. And this dude didn't say a word to anybody. Just elbowed Ronnie out of the way, grabbed the ball. There was a brief second I had my hand on the ball because it ricocheted down. And Ronnie went for it, but he kind of casually went for it. And this guy just came in torpedo. He was coming down. We were trying to gather ourselves, oh man, that just happened. Let me try and reach for the ball. But this guy, full glove, no Nats gear, just an MLB logo on his shirt, MLB logo on his head. He looked like he was Rob Manfred's hitman.
And this isn't a historic home run, folks. This is a Seattle versus Nationals game.
Just random Jesse Winker home run.
Winker's 42nd career home run or whatever.
I mean, it was, but it was, the best part about it was, Ronnie the rest of the game didn't even pay attention. He just kept rewatching the replay and, would break it down, man, I should have got that ball. And he even texted me this morning, was man, the further we get away from this, the more it pisses me off. A, that I didn't get the ball, and B, that this guy just knocked me out of the way and didn't say anything.
Yeah, right. I know those feelings from when you're younger and somebody says something to you or does something and you got the perfect comeback and you think of it 5 minutes too late. Man, I wish I could go back to that moment again. We got to introduce Igoe to the show.
Sure do.
That didn't count because that was
that was a prologue.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The forward. Shirley, let's introduce our guest for the 4 o'clock hour.
I go. He's the one you know. I go. He's Big Boomer's bro. I go. He's good at MLB The Show. I go, I go, I go, I go, I go.
Where did Chandler go?
I go, I go, I go, I go, I go. I'm sitting right here, bro. I go, I go, I go, I go, I go. This song continues to grow. Dun, 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 dun. I go, I go, I go, I go, I go.
Can we just get back to the show?
I go, I go, I go, I go, I go.
Hi, this is Michael Rashko.
I go, I go, I go, I go, I go. Dave Doran lost to Coach Mo. I go, I go, I go, I go, I go. Ho, ho, ho! I go, I go, I go, I go, I go. We should have Corey Glore saying hello. I go, I go, I go, I go, I go.
Hello.
I go, I go, I go, I go.
All right, there it is. Song is
Nicely
updated.
done. And I'm surprised that you guys actually fulfilled 2 week absence.
2 weeks, 2 new lines to the song. Mike says, please make the Igoe song long enough to take up an entire segment. Well, I mean
it is on the way.
we're doing it every week.
The song is at 2 minutes and 11 seconds now?
It's crazy that you said it just feels so much longer.
Yeah. I mean, because we're just sitting here. And for us, like, we've already heard, at least I've already heard all the lines leading up to the latest line. You guys have already heard every single line. You know, the only people that are probably entertained are those that are getting in their car for the first time. Like, what am I listening to?
And it's funny because whenever we were like, all right, play the song, we take our headphones off. I'm thinking that there's like a graphic up here, and then I look up, we're sitting here having a full-on conversation.
It's giving more details on Home Run Gate from last night.
MLB Player Association, guys, is a real, I can't say the words on the air, but he definitely lost my respect. If I ever see him at another game.
So he had your respect previous to last night.
Yeah, I'm like, who goes to a game with a glove wearing an MLB logo on both his hat and his shirt?
The name is Zach Ample, by the way. Robert Matthews on Facebook. That is the guy.
I wonder if that was actually him.
He is well known.
An imposter.
Let me see a picture.
Zach Ample.
You pull up one. Steven, do you mind if I give you a compliment?
Yeah.
You do mind?
Or give me the compliment, please.
No way.
No way.
But he is wearing the hat.
But
he is wearing the hat.
All these baseballs.
How long ago were those pictures? Because he had like some facial hair going now.
Steven, I want to give you a compliment. I really enjoyed, and I'm looking up to see what it's called officially, Coach Speak on Voice the Colors.
Segments, yeah.
So you talked about an ECU commit with their coach, which sometimes I would say maybe even majority of the time the coach will give you more and better answers than the actual recruit. The actual recruit will. So, but your latest one, the commit was DJ Johnson. Who was the coach? Do you recall?
Nikita Battle, I believe is his name. He actually just got the job at Dutchtown. He was at a different high school in Atlanta. But couldn't speak more highly of DJ Johnson and just kind of his personality taking over that program. You know, his commitment to really busting it in every drill. He just sounds like a gamer. And, you know, he's one of 2 guys who in this class that are sons of former NFL players.
Who's his pops?
Dwight Johnson, like a defensive lineman.
Interesting.
And then his uncle was actually Derek Johnson. You know, former Chiefs linebacker.
Derek Johnson?
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, Derek Johnson?
Not that one, the other Chiefs linebacker.
Oh, that's Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
Derek Johnson. He was also a good player.
He was really good. Yeah, he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that's his uncle, and then Dwight Johnson was his father. So good bloodlines there.
He went to Texas, didn't he?
The other one, Kieran Davis, is the son. Yeah, he did. Is the son of Charles Grant, who was a first-round pick by the Saints, won a Super Bowl with the Saints, defensive lineman. So you got some good bloodlines. I mean, I think anytime you get the son of an NFL player, like they're usually mature. Obviously, they kind of have that natural talent and athleticism.
Remember Zay came, and this is not like this is credit to Zay too, but also because of his NFL background, and he came in running like NFL routes as a freshman.
Yeah. Like he just knew what to do.
He belonged out there.
It's the same thing with Blake Prohl. Like
yeah, exactly. Good point.
Late bloomer in high school, but just like knew the game, knew what he was doing, so he got the most out of his athleticism.
We're talking tight ends, O-line today. Did I see Igoe that ECU's after or landed another tight end for the future?
Landed a tight end for the future.
For what year? 23.
23. They have Antonio Ferguson out of Apopka, Florida. Really good blocking film. I think he only caught a couple balls last year, so he's kind of a bigger tight end. And they don't really feature him a lot in the offense, but he's got good athleticism, good size. So had some pretty good offers down in Florida. Solid prospect. They also, interestingly enough, have a guy from Germany who's coming in kind of as a project for this season as a true freshman. His name is Max Lunch.
Lunch?
Yeah, so it's spelled Lanzstch or something like that.
Okay.
But I asked him, I was like, how do you pronounce your last name? He's like, it's lunch. like lunch, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, yeah, he was really
from
cool.
Germany or Australia?
Yeah. My impressions suck. Everybody sounds like they're from Australia.
Lunch!
I'm no Chandler. And so he came over from Germany in the pandemic and played ball in Georgia, and now is on his way to East Carolina.
Chandler, can you do a real quick Camp Connors with Max Lunch?
We're here with Max Lunch, and we're going to do some box jumps. And Max has got a good body and good size. We're going to try to get him up to about 250 and ready to go.
I feel like he's pretty good.
He is good. He's good. I also like.
Were you doing the hands? Yeah.
I like that he gets like in his Jeff Connors position.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Stephen Igoe.
That just started 2 days ago.
Yeah,
and
solid,
so he's getting it.
I miss Cam Connors, man. I enjoyed this segment.
Chandler said he watched every one of them. He was like, me and my dad would watch these every week, man. Like it was his favorite TV show. Mm-hmm. Cam Connors from the Ruff McNeil Show. Tight ends, all-time favorite, Igoe?
Like all-time, any team or East Carolina?
Let's start with East Carolina. But that's a good point. Start thinking. CJ, if you can't give me a Steelers tight end you like, you're fired.
He's going to say Heath Miller. But he's got something to say. Heath Miller? No? Yeah.
Is that a problem?
You're doing good.
No, I mean, as a non-Steelers fan, Heath Miller was a boss.
Kind of a cop-out.
Okay, well, that was uncalled for.
What?
So yours isn't going to be Jordan Reed?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's going to be Chris Cooley, bruh.
Chris Cooley, man. Washed.
Washed? Of course he's washed. He played 17 years ago. Washed.
He's a washed. Isn't he a radio announcer now?
Washington.
Washed.
He used to be. Remember when he showed his junk accidentally or on purpose?
No, I don't remember that.
He had like a playbook and there was a picture of it and his junk was hanging out.
That's what you remember about Chris Cooley?
Yeah, that's why he's my favorite. All-time favorite ECU tight end is? Would you like to hear some
my all-time
candidates?
favorite ECU tight end that did not finish his career was Justin Jones.
Yeah.
I was going to have him as an honorable mention.
But, you can't be my all-time favorite if you academically flunk out of school. So
God, he's listening to this right now.
that's fine.
Really upset.
I mean, it's got to be Devondre. I mean, this is like the only.
So you were trying that whole time to think of somebody other than
I was trying to think of somebody else. Like Zico Pursuit was cool. Like Bryce Williams, probably number 2 easily. Because I feel like it's either Devondre or Bryce Wood.
Does Zico Pursuit catch many passes?
No, he was more of a blocking.
He was a proven commodity.
Yeah.
And he was a running back more than a tight end.
We got Scott Richards from KP. Scott Richards from Robert Matthews. Favorite play from a tight end. Carlester Crumpler Jr. ran down a Virginia Tech player after a turnover. And that was his favorite play from a tight end. chased him down 90 yards, tackled him around the goal line. I remember when Carlester Crumpler Jr. scored a touchdown for the Seahawks against the Redskins. Mike P's favorite ECU tight end, Max Lunch. Who's your favorite NFL tight end, Igo?
Shannon Sharp. He was a boss. I mean, he was.
He's kind of washed now, though.
He can come back and play. And
washed. He's actually not. His freaking abs. He took a picture with his shirt off recently. Really? He is amazing. He's awesome. And he talked junk. He was funny.
His Patriots call on the sideline was the best. I mean, that I could watch that all day.
Tell the National Guard we are killing the Patriots. They need help. It was so funny. It was great. Johnny says Luke Fisher, his all-time favorite ECU tight end. All right, Ryan Jones came on the scene last year.
I think if Ryan Jones, not to cut you off, but if Ryan Jones has another big year, like he easily enters that conversation. Like all-time great ECU tight ends if he has a big year. Because like who else?
Big year. All-time great.
He had 600-something yards last year. What other ECU tight ends had 600 receiving yards in the season? Max Lunch, maybe?
Lunch.
No, I hear you. I just feel like... So last year was his first year?
Yeah, first year ever playing tight end and first year at ECU.
Yeah, because he was
I guess it's tough to become an all-time great when you only played 2 years out of school.
Right.
But, like, I just feel like if he...
From a numbers standpoint, you're probably right.
Statistically speaking, I just don't feel... Like, even in Bryce's last year, what did he have?
What do you think he had? Because I'm looking at it. How many did you say Ryan Jones had?
I think he had 600-something. Maybe I'm over. Maybe he had 400-something. Might be over.
Bryce, in his last year, 58 for 583, 4 touchdowns. And if you ask Bryce, he is pissed about it. Because he said he should have had a lot more. Yeah.
Well, he's also being thrown the ball by 2 non-Division I quarterbacks.
Yeah, true. Ryan Jones, and right now, would you say he is Holton Ayler's favorite target as far as being familiar with him, dependable? He's got to be the guy, right? He's the leading receiver returning to this team.
Jones had 37 for 442 and 5 scores, and that was really in a half year. I mean, he didn't start really playing full-time.
Will he surpass Bryce's yardage this year? All right.
Yes. Now, I mean, CJ has got to be the leading returning receiver in terms of statistics, but in terms of guys you trust right now, I'd probably say Jones is number 1.
Yeah. How about Shane Calhoun? I mean, he's played well during his time.
I think Shane Calhoun is probably the most underrated player on East Carolina's roster.
Quote tweet that, CJ.
I mean, then you got a proven commodity in Aaron Jarman.
Yep. Quote tweet that.
But no, Calhoun plays more snaps. He just doesn't get the targets, and when he does get the targets, he's got like a catch rate of like 90%.
Right. So I feel
he
like
everything that's thrown to him.
If we're going to label these guys, Ryan Jones is a receiving tight end.
Yes.
Aaron Jarman is a blocking tight end.
Yes.
What is Shane Calhoun?
A mix of both.
Right. What is he better at?
I think he's probably pretty close to equal. I mean, I think maybe a little bit better of a receiver just because he still needs to add some strength and, work on his blocking technique. But you also have to factor in he's still only entering his 3rd year of college. Mm-hmm. And the first year was pandemic. So I thought last year he made a leap in the weight room. I think this year he can make another leap.
So how long is this it for Ryan Jones?
This is it.
And for Aaron Jarman?
Aaron Jarman still has another year of eligibility.
Okay. And, of course, Calhoun will be back. The other tight end in the room is D'Angelo McKinney. And he's going
to be a blocker.
Yeah. And that is your full tight end room, which again, I'm sorry, Joseph Sampson. I want to talk to Sampson.
Sampson has been kind of a quality walk-on special teams guy. Like, I feel like if they needed him to go in and play, he could play.
All right.
I mean, he's not a bad option to have in that room either. Like, it's a quality room. Now, you need the reason they're adding Max Lunch and, Antonio Ferguson is because Jones is gone. Jarman has another year, but he's already graduated. He's been graduated since he got here. So it's just a matter of how long he wants to play. Does he want to play another year? After this one, we'll see. And then you got Calhoun, who's a sophomore, but he's technically a draft-eligible sophomore. I don't think he'll go to the draft this coming year, but still, like, you got to start restocking that room pretty quickly, which they're doing.
Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, joining us. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk O-line. See if Igoe has a projected starting 5. Hopefully he won't ask me mine. But we'll do that and have more. If we have time, we'll go inside the rage room with Igoe, too. He can rage about that home run baseball guy more when we return on Pirate Radio Live on a Thursday after this.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
Pirate fans, the 2022 football season is going to be one for the record books. East Carolina is coming off a 7-win bowl season, and 2022 is shaping up to be even better. The Pirates need you to pack Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium this fall with a great home slate that includes in-state rival North Carolina State. The American Conference schedule features home games against UCF, Memphis, Houston, and Navy. Season tickets are on sale for as low as $125. Get your tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com.
The Wood Ducks are at home this upcoming week versus the Fireflies, July 12th through July 17th. The Wood Ducks will be playing as the Avocado Luchadors, and on Friday, the first 1,000 fans will receive an Avocado Luchadors hat sponsored by MedSource Pharmacy and the UPS store. Saturday will be an Avocado Luchadors jersey giveaway to the first 1,000 fans sponsored by Lenoir Community College. Go online to get your tickets in advance at woodducksbaseball.com or at the box office the day of the game. Hope to see you there. Go Woodies!
Welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
At US Cellular, any phone you see is free, whether you're a new or current customer. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
We all love using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and grocery pickup. It makes life so much easier. Well, now there is cellular delivery, and the team at Cellular Warehouse has perfected the process. They will deliver your new phone right to your door with all your information loaded on the new phone, and the best thing is there is no charge for this awesome service. And you don't have to waste half the day sitting in a Cellular store. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team of experts make your cellular delivery today. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent, serving all of Eastern North Carolina.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
This is Amanda Houston, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Go Pirates!
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Beauty Bar Metaspa. Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Visit beautybarmetaspa.com to set up a free consultation. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live, here on a Thursday, coming up in the third hour of today's program, 5 o'clock. Troy D will be here, and Holden Ehlers will join us. We'll talk about his time at the Manning Passing Academy and talk about his off season as well. And maybe he'll give us some insight on the tight end room and the O-line room, which we're talking about right now with Stephen Igoe. I'm looking at last year's participation chart, Stephen. Let's talk about guys who were here last year and not back this year. So you've got Sean Bailey, who started and played in many games in his Pirate career, no longer here. Justin Chase started 12 out of 12 games, not here. Fernando Fry started in a lot of games, and he is not here. Okay, so that's the three big ones you lost. Okay. Avery Jones has played quite a bit of Pirate football, and he's back for another year. Nashad Strother started in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 out of 12 games last year. So you've got those two that have played quite a bit, and others who have seen time as well. So
Noah Henderson is also on this list. He started in 10 out of game. He played in 10 games. He started 10 games. So I guess he missed the opener and did not play in the next to last game against the Navy. He missed the Navy game with like back spasms, and he played in the opener. So I think that thing is wrong.
All right. Thank you, ECUPirates.com.
Because Bailey Malovic got injured on like the second drive of the season.
Oh, right.
Pretty sure Henderson came in right away.
We got to talk about that too, who was injured last year and coming back. So do you expect Henderson, Jones, and Strother to start this year?
I definitely expect Jones and Henderson to start. Strother, I mean, he'll play whether he starts or not. They brought in two guys for the interior offensive line via the portal, Justin Redd and Ben Johnson, who are both starting caliber. You got Isaiah Foote, who is really kind of developed into a starting caliber interior lineman. So, I mean, I think they really feel good about 5 or 6 guys on the interior offensive line. Like Jones is probably going to start at center, but I think they're going to work Ben Johnson some at center. The Maris transfer, Foote has worked at center some in the past. I think Justin Redd probably going to be a starting guard somewhere, or at least be in that mix as a FCS All-American grad transfer. So, the interior offensive line, I think, is in really good shape.
And Jones is, like, cemented in center.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I mean, he was there in the spring. All signs indicate, he'll stay there, and he would be the first second-time center in the Mike Houston era in terms of, like, going to the next year as the center, because they used Fry there, and then he moved back to guard. They moved Jones to center. The first year was Brandon Pena.
Is, from what you know, or you got sources, and you got them everywhere, is Bailey Malovic on pace to play week 1?
Yeah, he's working his way back. I don't think he's been. Last I'd heard, he was close to being fully cleared. Maybe he has by now, but he's been rehabbing. And I know that 2 or 3 weeks ago he was weighing like 320 or something like that. So his weight is in a good spot because he's got the type of metabolism where once he starts going every day, he's going to drop it.
So he's going to lose weight during the season, probably.
Yeah, and in preseason camp when they're out there, practicing 95-degree heat every day. I mean, you can't keep weight on that time of year. So,
if he's healthy, he's in at tackle. Who are the other tackle options, you think?
So, Noah Henderson, I think, is going to start if healthy. Okay. He had the back deal last year, but they managed it well. He said in the spring he was as healthy as he's been. Your 4 tackles are going to be Henderson, Bailey Malovic, Walt Stribling, and Parker Moore, the West Virginia transfer. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be your top guys. And then you can also play Strother at tackle if needed, even though he's more of a guard. Hampton Ergel's a guy who's a former walk-on or is a walk-on who can play tackle or guard. You got a couple of young guys as well who can play tackle. But, I think you're too deep at tackle. How they end up playing left or right or, how that ends up working out, I'm not sure. I think Noah will stay at right tackle. But, Bailey Malovic has worked at right and left in the past. Parker Moore was the starting right tackle at West Virginia. He worked at left and right in the spring. And then Stribling's mainly worked at left tackle in the past. But, it just depends on how they want to line those guys up.
How about, so ECU was sacked 37 times last year. But you look at the rushing numbers, had a 1,000-yard rusher. It's a simpleton thing to say, but is it true, Igoe, that the run blocking was better than the pass blocking?
Yeah, I think so. You look at Pro Football Focus's analytics, and the pass blocking, especially in like 3 or 4 games, was really bad, which brought down the overall grade. Like, they were near the bottom of the country in pass protection. In terms of Pro Football Focus, which some people say that their offensive line metrics are not as trustworthy as some, but
are there any other offensive line metrics?
No, not really. Other than like just watching the game and making your own, because the toughest thing is you don't know what a guy's responsibility is based off what the defense is doing, so it's kind of guesswork. But overall, you can watch enough and say, hey, this offensive line is good or bad or whatever. So
what was ECU last year?
In pass pro, you look at the Houston game, UCF game, South Carolina game, and there was maybe Cincinnati. Like, they just struggled against good defensive lines in terms of pass rush. And tackle was a big issue with that. So they got to get more consistency with pass rush, pass protection. Run blocking, I thought they made major strides in, and I think they can be even better this year. I think the offensive line as a whole, you look at it, I think it can be so much better just because of what's coming back and what they've added. I think this is by far the best group they've ever had. The guys,
Houston.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
You saw the picture of them with all their shirts off. Like, they look like a D1 offensive line. Like, it did not look like that 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Avery Jones, he's entering his 3rd year playing Noah Henderson.
That's a key thing too, playing together with each other.
Nashad Strother, his 3rd year playing. Like, all these guys, a lot of them have played together. And then the guys coming in, Parker Moore, Justin Red, Ben Johnson, they've all played a lot. So, I just feel like there's legitimately 8 to 9 guys that you trust to go out there and perform at a high level, and I can't remember the last time that has happened.
All right, Scott, our Maryland guy, we mentioned Foot, so he's excited about that. He said, what about the kid from St. Francis, Baltimore? What are his chances?
Jacob Sacra, he's going to be a player. For a freshman, he is a massive human being. He's already moving dudes off line of scrimmage. It's just he's a freshman. When you're a freshman offensive lineman,
listed 3'15", 6'5".
He's every bit of that. So he could go out there and just kind of stand there and be effective. But I think they're to the point now where they got enough O-line depth they can redshirt everybody.
Which that's new too in the last few years, right? We've had so many guys that have had to come in and play right away and kind of stunted their growth.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's been a struggle. In terms of attrition, in terms of depth, and it's just hard to get those guys that are, it's hard to find 5 of them, much less 10 to 12, and then find another wave that you're developing. And so it truly does take 3 to 4 years to build up the room. You can't do it in one recruiting cycle. Yeah, it's easier now with the portal, but it's hard to just bring in a bunch of dudes from the portal and plug them in and be ready to go, which is why I think it's critical that Avery Jones was a transfer, but he came in with 3 to 4 years of eligibility remaining. Now he's entering his 3rd year. Like I said, he's played with Strother, he's played with Henderson, Stribling. He's practiced with Stribling, Isaiah Foote, all those guys. So I just think there's a lot of continuity there, and you're adding veteran pieces.
Stephen Igoe, hoist the colors, talking O-line. Do you have an all-time favorite East Carolina offensive lineman? While you think, going back to when I first started, I really enjoyed talking to Josh Kaufman. He was one of my favorites. Chandler brought up, you got to bring up Garrett McGinn.
Garrett McGinn.
Yeah, there's no doubt that it's Garrett McGinn. Interview-wise, personality-wise, I still kind of stay in touch with him.
He's a bird.
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry. Great dude. Adam Alsali was always insightful to talk to.
Very intelligent young man.
Very intelligent. There was somebody else in the rough era. that I really liked. Big tackle, maybe Ike Harris.
You mentioned him too.
He was fun.
Fernando Fry gave us the Jeff Charles Wu moment, so we'll forever be grateful for that. And we should be grateful for him swapping positions and doing everything he could, getting everything out of his body.
I think he played 7 years of college football.
And really, like, I don't want this to sound bad, but, like, might have could, in an alternate universe, played no years of college football. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he came as a...
He came because his girlfriend was here, right?
He didn't even get invited. He just, like, walked onto the team. Like, old school walk-on.
Yeah. And played
and then, like,
a ton of games.
Came into his own and became a key guy.
Which is why we love him. That's a Pirate story, if we've ever heard one.
He's a bird.
All right, Coach. Let's take anything else, O-line, before we take a break?
What's your projected starting lineup?
I'm going to go Bailey Malovic and Henderson on the inside, while I'm going to Avery Jones snapping the football. Then I'm going to have one of the transfer guys at guard, and then I'm going to have at the other guard
Strother or another transfer.
You wanted to pull him out, maybe. So give me 2 transfers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Strother first off.
I could almost see Strother, Red as your starting guard, and Ben Johnson being your top backup interior guy. But, Shank has showed he's going to rotate.
Yeah.
Like, if he has 7 guys, he'll rotate his top guard and his top backup tackle. So I would expect 7-8 guys to play.
I mentioned this guy too.
Another good guy. Kenny Curling says Taylor Hudson. Yep.
Yeah, he's a good